Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
YouTube, how you doing? Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a nice, fresh, warm slice of American pie. How's y'all doing out there? Scarpad back, finally back after a couple of weeks taking off in rehab, wherever I was, and now I've kicked it all, and I'm back, and we're gonna be talking some American Pie tonight. This movie came out in 1999, and pretty much put everybody that was in it, with maybe the exception of Eugene Levy, who was, of course, a huge guy in Second City TV and movies before that, anchored the cast with Eugene Levy, and then you had to do Jason Biggs, Chris Klein, Natasha Lyonne, Thomas Ian Nichols, Sean William Scott, Tara Reid, Mina Shavani. These kids, and they were kids basically back then, went on, to do 3 more of these movies, and then went on to have pretty good careers for the most part. And even the director, Paul Weiss, this was his first directorial movie. He went on to do The Fockers, Meet the Parents, Meet the Little Fockers, a bunch of other stuff he's been doing since then. So this was, this was the 90s sex comedy. It was budgeted at $11 million, and it made like $253 million in its initial go-around. So big bucks. That's why there was 3 sequels, and then eventually 8 sequels altogether, 7 sequels altogether, with Eugene Levy really being the only guy that I think was in all of them, or most of them. But this grand tradition of things like Porky's in the 80s and The Last American Virgin in the 70s, American Graffiti. But this movie had something a little different. This movie, even though it's a sex comedy, it had heart, because you had that relationship between Jim and his father. So to talk that all out after that long-winded little blurb there, gonna bring in Link. How's it going, Link?
What up?
Station man,
right.
How you doing?
You giving a nice little rundown of the movie. This is
$11 million and took home 253. There's a lot of movies out this week that would be loving to do doing that. And
this is true,
but not to me doing it, man. But and we got Dylan who will be in here hopefully shortly. But I guess let's talk some pie here. This came out in 1999. I did not see this.
What's the? Do you know the exact date of it that it came out in theaters?
When it came out, I know it was late because I think it was around. Late in the year. It came out July 9th, so you had the whole July 4th.
Oh, no
weekend.
shit. Oh, wow.
1999.
Before I turned
235.5 million it made in its initial run. So a sequel, I think a sequel was greenlit pretty quick.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about this franchise is all the sequels are pretty good. Obviously the first couple are the best, but American Wedding solid.
All the ones that went to the theaters.
All the ones that went to the theaters are the best, obviously. I think probably the last one, the reunion, was probably the weakest of the bunch, but even that was good to a certain degree. And then of course they went, they went into the direct-to-video market, and then it was all about Stifler and the Stifler clan and
his brother,
Stifler's brother and the other brother and
they tried to add Eugene Levy in one of them.
Eugene Levy was in all of them, believe it or not.
Was he really? Wow.
At least a cameo in all of them, I think. Yeah. Wow. And some of them he played a major part in it, so he got another paycheck. They kept him coming
I can't be
back.
mad at that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't. I think maybe I saw one of those. Maybe one of those. They were all not that great. They were all right, but
Yeah.
Dylan
The
says he
Naked
loves them.
Mile was that. I think that's the one I.
There was
It might be
20.
called
Yeah, and I think in 2020 was the last one that came out, and it was
2020.
I think so. Yeah, I think, and I think it was all girls one at some point. All girls nights
That
out
could
and
be
all
cool.
that, but of course they had band camp. But yeah, so basically we start off the movie introducing to all these guys. The four main characters: Chris Klein, Thomas Ian Nicholas, Sean William Scott, and Jason Biggs.
Biggs.
And then on the flip side, we get Natasha Lyonne, Tara Reid, Mina Suvari, and then we get that.
I forget her name. The
Sherman
Michelle
Leonard.
Allison, and she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Willow.
Allison Hannigan. I don't know why I didn't listen to her. Of course, she had a good part. Of course, she has more of a part in the future ones. And let's not forget. Well, we're forgetting about Nadia. Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh, Shannon Elizabeth. Yes. Dang.
How can you forget about Nadia?
One of the best parts of the movie for me as a kid. That used to be. Yeah. Even a cool cameo by Blink 182, which I think was very. I don't know the timing of that was.
The school band.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a nice.
The soundtrack. This movie was iconic. You had Blur and Third Eye Blind, and it was very 90s.
Very punk. Yeah.
A lot of these guys got the start by this soundtrack. But I didn't see this in the theater. I saw it when it came out in video. But I think, as I said, I think the main difference that I always felt about this movie is, a lot of times you don't. At the heart of this movie is that relationship between Jim and his dad, because his dad is, he's bumbling. He's kind of a doof. He's kind of like Jim, basically grown up, and he does a lot of off the wall shit, but he always means well. When he's having a talk, or he's Jim, remember about I can't say a lot of the stuff that I want to say about this movie. And that's why I'm only on YouTube tonight, guys. I was going to be on Facebook, and that would have been even worse. So I can't, say some of the stuff I want to say, or we're going to get pulled down. But when he's going through, and try to teach, Jim about women and sex and stuff like that, he always
catches him with the pie.
Yeah, he always has his best interest. He never flips out. He's not your stereotypical angry dad or anything like that. He pulls him aside. We'll just tell
He's
mom.
Cool dad.
We'll just tell mom that we ate it.
They look at the pie.
That's all. Yeah, and then of course, but there's so many good scenes in this movie. But then we get each one of the cast I think gets a chance to really do his part. But I think Chris Klein is probably the one that gets the most airtime. It's almost more about Chris Klein than it is about Jason Biggs. I would say those two probably are getting the most screen time. And he's all comedy. And of course you get Chris Klein as the hunk who's getting the love story part with the heartthrob, and getting the, fulfilling his destiny and becoming a singer.
Yeah.
And of course, and we forget Stifler. Stifler is a big part of this movie.
He stole the show. Honestly, him and Eugene Levy stole the show.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for Stifler and Eugene Levy, they really made the movie. And Jason Biggs good for what he does, but it's all the action.
They were like the X factor, because they said, I believe I read somewhere that Sean William Scott part wasn't supposed to be as big as it was, but he came in and he was like knocking out his scenes and adding like this extra energy, so they like wrote more scenes in for him, or like made it, or maybe that transferred into like the second one. But I do remember Stifler not supposed to.
I think Stifler. Yeah, Stifler definitely got more airtime as the series went on. After the first one, but he got quite a bit in here. But some of the bits he does in here, he's just off the wall. And that scene with the beer cup, the drinking the beer cup, and just pretty much all of it. Yeah. And then we get Stifler and his mom. We get what's his name? The guy with the shitting in school problem.
I know who you're talking about. He was in, I forget his name, but I know he was in Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
He's been in a few things. I forget his name. I forget Shipbreak's actual character name.
Shipwrecks.
Or, or
Shipwrecks. Okay.
Shipbreaks, yeah.
I mean, is that
But
a thing? Do people have problems shitting in like schools and stuff? How old were you when you first shit in school? Were you 15?
it's an interesting question.
Money busting you.
I will say I always feel more comfortable at home
That's good.
going
Yeah.
to the
Well, I
bathroom.
like how he's got the hand sanitizer and he's got the little pieces he's trying to put together.
The little bedding and paper towel you did placed out so neatly,
Yeah.
or the toilet paper.
You know, but this movie's all a series of scenes, you know, with the pie and
Yeah.
the cup
There's a lot of running gags.
and you know, everything that's going on.
John
with Jim.
Cho.
And John Cho was not much of a
I
part,
forgot
but
about.
he's in it, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's in the choir as well.
Was it?
Yeah, I think he was one of the choir
shit.
guys. I think so. You know, of course, we get the Allison Hannigan with her band camp thing. And it's a nice little touch that pretty much they go on to get married, and it was those two that gets married.
I was thinking that when I was watching that, I was like, you know what? That's kind of a cool little character arc that they went through together, bro. Like he found someone he actually liked inadvertently. Like he was trying to be so cool and appeal. But yeah, I like that.
And the first scene of the fucking movie spoke to me to a certain degree.
Oh, God.
Because back in the day, when cable television, pay television was around, that's what Jim was watching.
When the screen used to come in all fuzzy.
When you put a channel in the box that you don't get, you hear the sound, but the picture would be like this. So it would be all back.
It's coming every so.
The vertical control. We can straighten that out. Oh, there's a tit. I saw a tit. I did that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think all young men past a certain era experience something like that. Yeah.
So that was a great first scene. That really set the tone of the movie, I think. You know, so basically, you know, it's a lot like Dazed and Confused in a certain way, where this is, you know, Dazed and Confused was set in the last day of high school. This is set on really the last year of high school.
Still like a coming of age.
Yeah, it's definitely a coming of age story with a lot more sex thrown into it. But as I said, it's not a nasty story. Not nasty the way of like sex and dirty. I'm talking.
You know what I liked about it is because I remember in high school, like stuff like that was a big deal.
Yeah, it wasn't crude, I guess.
No, yeah, exactly. It was well done, but that's what it reminded me of being in high school when it was like stuff like that was you magnified it. Like it was such a like, oh man, I think I might get laid or just stuff like that. Now it's
yeah, it was a little different than
whatever.
Like Porky's. Porky's came on. I don't know if you ever saw Porky's, but Porky's was like pretty much straight sex comedy and
right.
with not too much heart in it. All the characters are pretty not likable for the most part, with maybe the exception. And that was, I believe, that was written by Bob Clark, who did Christmas Story and Black Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Same dude.
Wow.
Too.
He wrote or he directed them?
Directed it, yeah. Porky.
That's so wild.
But this movie it wasn't really crude, not since a man. It was, and everybody was identifiable, I think. I love the bit they had when his brother tells him they get like what's like the Necronomicon, Book of the Dead, except this is the Book of the Orgasms. They find buried in the library vault under some books and stuff like that, and it's got all the scribbling in it, like the Book of the Dead.
Yeah.
And he's there under the bed with him when he's looking through the thing, So, but
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking of the scene where the dad's walking up. That scene always makes me laugh. He's like, oh, he just turns around and walks right back down the stairs. Like,
yeah. Whatever.
She says she's coming.
But so that was all pretty interesting. But I mean, some basic stuff. You get the parties going on, and stuff you're going to see in every one of these type of movies. But it's just interesting. And even side characters like the Shermanator, they spend a lot of time with him, and he's the reason at the end when they find out he didn't get laid, that they break their vows there. The Shermanator didn't get any. He just who would tell the girl he's in a bed with that he wets his fucking pants, and then he wet his fucking pants.
because he was embarrassed.
The
He's like, oh
Terminator.
shit.
But seeing this
What
again,
was he in this? He was in Reunion. I think he was
he was
in.
in one
I
some
don't
of the
think.
other movies, yeah. And he was in
Okay.
some of the other sequels too. The later sequels he was in too. He
That
actually
makes
turns
sense.
out to be. He becomes in the later sequels. He becomes a guidance counselor at the high school. The
Wow.
Shermanator. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I might have to go back and watch some of them for those
I'm
bits.
kind of hoping that at some point, and these movies took a lot of money, and I'd kind of like to see what's happening to these guys now. I know Bobby would be the typical date. Some of them had kids, and some of them broke up, but I still think they could do it, especially with Stifler and
What would you call the last one? Like American what?
American Funeral. But it'd be like the big chill if they were going back with like somebody died.
American Ending? Right now, that
Yeah.
would some people would take that too the wrong way.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. You'd have to come up with something interesting. But I think it would be interesting to do that. I think it would be.
No, yeah, I'd like to see where these guys are at this stage in life. Like now that maybe.
Well, actually,
it'd be like
it could be like an American Reunion too. I mean, what was the? What,
I wouldn't want it to be
what
called
reunion
reunion.
was that? That was like a school reunion.
That was a high school reunion.
Okay,
yeah, that was
they've already
like
done that. Yeah, you're not gonna
You
go back
want-
to that.
I'd want to see them like have kids and shit, and maybe acknowledging.
Stifler's kids get married. That could be an interesting premise. Now I don't know if they go.
Stifler's kids get married to each other.
No, to somebody. I don't know. They're going to that wedding. I don't know. They could do
I
something.
know. I agree. There
You have to
could be
come
some
up with a good
interesting
hook.
stories
A good
to tell.
hook, right?
Yeah. Could be like their sons almost. All right,
Mhm.
we'll get
Yeah, I mean, they haven't done anything with kids, so
right.
at this point, they're not old enough to have little kids anymore. American grandparents, because they'd all be grandparents now for the most part.
No,
Yes.
because they're in their mid 40s.
50s. Most people are grandparents by that time. So,
No, they're not.
Some are.
No way.
Mm.
Not a lot.
But
I mean,
you haven't seen this movie in a long time. You know, your experience watching it again, talk about it, I guess.
Yeah. I remember this is this was like the teenage movie boom. This is kind of what set them off. You had a few of them earlier, but this definitely there's like a wave of these type of comedies after American Pie came out. And I remember always wanting to see this because they would show snippets of it on MTV and interview the cast, and it had Blink-182 had some great songs. And I didn't see this one in theaters, of course. When you said July 9th, it came out a week before I turned 11. So I remember seeing this early 2000.
I don't think you would have been seing that in theaters. Probably not.
No. I saw it on cable though.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, that's not like Godzilla. Godzilla. Shout out Dave Chappelle. But yeah, this is a great movie. I was curious to see how it will hold. I haven't watched this in a number of years. I was curious to see how it will hold up, given this watch, and I'm so far from my teenage years and stuff like that. And it was good. Like you said, this movie has a lot of heart, and it was cool that almost every character, even the minor ones, had like a character trajectory, a character arc.
Right.
Like no one was really throwaway. There was no wasted characters. They all played their part well. It was crazy to see how many people got their start from this and what they went on to do. I mean, I don't know. When I watched this, I did not. When as a kid, I thought like the people who had the bigger careers were like Jason Biggs, Chris Klein, and then a few years later, Sean William Scott kind of outlasted them all.
Jason Biggs didn't do much of anything too major.
No, he didn't.
Chris Klein,
but he was on fire when this came out.
Yeah, Chris Klein, didn't he do that movie?
Rollerball with LL Cool J.
Yeah, wasn't he? Was he also in the one with the cellular, or was that the other Captain America?
That was Captain America. Chris Evans,
okay. Yeah, I know he tried. Chris Klein to try to pigeonhole him into an action type thing. It didn't really fit all that well. Eugene Levy, of course, is Eugene Levy. He went on to do that Schitt's Creek, which I hear is great, but I've never watched it.
Same here.
Thomas Ian Nicholas, I think he went on to do a lot of TV stuff.
Yeah.
And
he's an actor who would never had like a major role, but he was always getting consistent work.
Sean William Scott, of course. After this, he went to do that other series, that Goon series that was pretty popular on video, where he played the hockey player.
That came out like 2011, but that was a solid. That was a solid.
Yeah, he did
movie.
2 or 3 of those. He was
Liv
always in some-
Shriver. No, never mind. That was who directed the second one was his best friend in the movie, Jay Bruchot or whatever. Directed the second Goon. Fun fact.
And then Tara Reid went on to do Sharknado and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Shout out there.
Was Mina Suvari in was he in the Dawn of the Dead remake? No, was that Mina
She
Suvari?
was the Day of the Dead remake. Dawn of the Dead. No, Day of the Dead. She played like a military. Okay. She played yeah.
But she went on to play the same role in a ton of different movies.
I mean, she had a nice little buzz to her. I remember she was in some cheerleading movie about these cheerleaders that would rob banks. It was a comedy.
Was it?
I think
was Natasha Lyonne in that too? I think she was.
I don't think Natasha Lyonne. No.
But Natasha Lyonne went on to have a pretty big career. She's just in
yeah. She's always had some solid.
And she's in that Russian Doll and stuff like that. She usually plays the same character in every movie, even in these movies.
Sarcastic, witty.
Yeah, she's basically it's her. So it's not. She doesn't stretch her acting, but she's great in every movie she's in. So that's all right.
Oh,
and
that's
she's
cool.
Too, so.
2 characters in this movie were Harold and Kumar. That's pretty cool. It was Shipwreck and John Cho.
Oh, okay. I see what
he played. Remember, they went over to their friend's house in Harold and Kumar. Their 2 Jewish friends, and he's like, "Hey, you want to suck on this?" He's like, "Oh yeah," but they were talking about a bong.
All I remember about in Harold Kumar is the big gigantic package of weed that came to life and was walking around and stuff like that.
Make it mine. He's like, "Shut up, bitch! Learn how to make a fucking cup of coffee."
We gotta do that one at some point. Well, we have a second. I want to say, hey to Two Gun. How you doing, Two Gun? How you been? Perry, how you doing? I escaped the Phantom Zone. Yes, I did. Absolutely. Evan, how you doing, Evan? Interviewing Comics. Good to see you in here.
My bad, y'all. My Wi-Fi, there was an outage in my area, and I had to get it reset.
Are you on your phone?
Yeah. I had to call them and make sure they reset everything, and I had to go reset the modem. That's what I thought. I'm surprised I'm even still in here. I thought it was gonna kick me out. It must have reloaded.
Yeah, never dropped. Carolina, Chris, how you doing, Carolina? How you doing, Chris? Thanks for stopping in, man.
I'm about to reload, so be prepared to pop me right back in, okay?
I'll reload you.
I just connected, so yeah.
I was watching the movie the other day. Playing, Saving Silverman. Yeah, I remember.
He had Jason Biggs had a decent career going in the first couple years after American Pie. I'd say until like 2002 is when he started to fall off. But I
would say absolutely. This is the first time I heard the term MILF. I think it was.
Yeah, I think that this definitely coined that. Yeah.
If it didn't coin it brought it in the thing. MILF.
Yeah,
she's the MILF, man.
That was like one of my favorites.
And Eugene Levy is
Stifler's mom's a real MILF.
I'm pissed, bro. I wanted to be here from the start. I fucking love this
you are
series,
pissed,
bro.
We gotta have to watch.
Share your thoughts.
I watched the first 3, bro, this week. I gotta watch American Reunion again. American Wedding was my shit, bro. We gotta do that. I do love
that might be my favorite.
It's probably my favorite too.
It grew on me because I remember I wasn't too keen on that one. I was like, they're out of high school and that shit. And once I saw it, it was still
makes it, bro. And then Finch goes a little like Stifler starts trying to be good, and then Finch is kind of being like, no fucking shit, it's the Finchmeister, man. But
yes, I am. Yes, I am smoking.
American Pie is just my childhood, my teenage years. This is the movie that I would try to fucking sneak away and watch without my mom knowing. Funny thing, she hated me watching these, and
well, you were only 5 years old, so
no, I wasn't that young. I would have been like 12, 13. I was like, the pre-adolescence when the pubes are just coming in.
I see.
You know what I mean? When the armpit hairs
start starting to.
Were you trying to unscramble
she never let me watch these. And I remember I was like, hey, Mom, these movies are really cheap on DVD. And she looked at them, she's like, how much are they? And I was like, I think I got all 3 of them. It was like a 3-pack for like $10. And she fucking didn't say nothing. And she let me buy them. And I was like,
shit.
I was like, and she was like, what the fuck? And she came in and I was like, you bought them for me. She's like, no, I didn't. I was like, yes, you did. And she was like, you didn't tell me what it was. And I was like, well, I know I don't own them anymore, so I need that set.
Yeah, but the real question and all that is when
documentary on them stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, when Mom walked in, were you beating the bishop or choking the chicken?
No, she just saw it. She just saw, you know, fucking tits all out. You know, I think it was.
You had a girl in there? What?
No, dude. Yeah, I had a girl in there.
Yeah,
well, you remember in 2 when they when the girls make them make out with each other?
Yes.
One. Oh yeah, it's 3 when the strippers come and they're like, you want us to make out? And Stifler's like, no, fuck that. None of that making us make out. None of that you go, we go shit. He's like, you ain't fooling us with that one again. But part 2 is really fucking good.
Yeah, they're all good. They really are.
Yeah. They're solid series, bro.
This is a whole series where there really wasn't a bad one.
No, even the Naked Mile, the Beta House.
That's the name? Okay.
Cousin, those were good too, though.
Okay.
They just had a girls one come out.
Yeah.
That's what Scarface was saying.
That's the weakest one for sure. But they got like the Beta House, the Naked Mile, and then what was the last one I just said? I think there's the Book of Love, and then there was the Band Camp one.
Yeah, that was
the Band Camp, the Beta House, and the Naked Mile. That was like a double feature basically with the same Stifler cousin that ran that fraternity house, and he was like a fucking legend. You know what I mean? Okay. Those 2 were really good.
Link and believe
the Beta. I gotta watch.
Eugene Levy does a cameo or more in all of them.
You know, the Band was like Stifler's little brother that's in these ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have seen that.
Like watching the Nadia video.
He's like, you guys were about to.
He goes to band camp, and then he's the one who like puts cameras in the girls' showers and starts like making like footage to sell the kids on the high school campus. There's some fucking crazy shit.
You cannot get away with this shit today, bro.
I'm saying Jim put the fucking camera in the bedroom, so Nadia and they're all watching. I know that is so fucked up.
Yeah.
But these movies are just absolutely classic. I love.
Good thing he didn't run next door, because otherwise he's been too far away to come back. Right. I love when he's running outside the next thing.
Yeah.
And all the guys, all the fucking kids are going, fucking loser, fucking freak.
Like, not again. Not again.
I remember the day after he's walking back into school after all happens. There was this scene. This girl was doing something super obnoxious to mock him, and it always bothered me as a kid, and it still bothers me now. She's just everyone else is doing something like Dylan said or whatever, and she's doing like some exaggerated shit. I'm like, you scene stealer, get out of here.
Yeah, there's always one of those like random fucking nobodies trying to really steal. Like,
but I love when all the guys are watching him. Then the fucking one guy's like, all right, come on, robot boy.
But
you guys had a fucking monkey. How cool was that?
I love
see that too much anymore.
I absolutely love movies though. I think the first one is probably one. If the first one and American Wedding are close, they're maybe tied, but this one might probably take the cake just because it's the first. Stifler's so fucking good when he drinks the fucking cum beer. Oh my god, bro!
Dylan, there's okay.
The special beer.
There's a disclaimer here tonight.
Get the fuck out of here! You say rape on my channel every week. So you did it. Now I'm coming on your channel, hot motherfucker.
I meant to take it off Facebook, but apparently my buddy's on Facebook, so apparently it didn't come out. But we're trying not to get.
I can't say come, but you can say
rape. Okay, because you can come any day you want.
So
trying to be politically correct.
So fucking Kevin's girlfriend,
I'm canceled.
All she lets him do is get head, and every single time she's like, "Tell me when, let me know." I'm like, I think he knows to let you know because you probably have never let him fucking come in your mouth once. Fucking, you
Dial it
cheapskate.
back to him. Dial it back to him.
No, I have
Dial
to
it
let
back.
it be shown. And then he lets her know, and
God,
then he turns over and comes in the fucking cup. Who does that shit, bro?
I might have somebody that doesn't want to have kids. Obviously, I'm gonna have to.
How are you gonna have kids if you put it
I'm
in their
gonna
mouth?
I'm gonna put a 7-second delay on here. Hold on.
How are you gonna have kids that way?
No, I know. I'm
7-second delay.
But
well, one thing I was telling Link I really loved about this movie too is that they have like a Book of the Dead, like a Necronomicon that they pull out of the
Book
fucking
of Love.
library.
Kama Sutra.
There's
The
an
Bex-
American Pie Book of Love. That's
Oh, okay. The Book of Okay, yeah. But I love that, and it's all like.
Oh, it's called the Book of Love.
He's
Yeah.
reading
Okay.
the fucking
the Bible. They call it in the first one.
I think I'm gonna have to watch the other ones, bro, because this one definitely had me wanting to watch the trilogies.
On Netflix. One of them used to be on Netflix.
I think I know I've seen Naked Mile. I think I might have seen Bandcamp, but is that the other ones?
No, that's just the first 4.
Okay. How much did that cost? Like $10?
Well,
It's
to be
like
honest,
15 bucks. It's got the
It's not
rated.
bad.
my uncle showed me
It's
one
got
of
the
these.
rated,
and I'm
unrated, and
probably
a documentary.
I was probably like in between 8 to 10 when I first saw American Pie because my uncle.
Yeah, I was 11.
My uncle had this shit just sitting out, and I'm like,
yo, bro, this looks
unrated.
interesting.
When this came out, I was 36. So
No way.
yeah, I probably shouldn't have been watching it. Dirty old fucking man.
I was about your age.
I know.
Or you're about my age.
I know. Just
That's
sexy.
crazy. It
But-
seems like you've always been this scarphead.
What are you
I
talking
know.
about?
I can't imagine a 36-year-old scarphead.
That's what, dude. I'm telling you, these movies are so important to young boys growing up.
Oh, I can
I'm
imagine.
telling you, these movies
Yeah.
are important. Because it's like literally like it's almost like how boys learn about like
It encapsulates so
You know what I
much.
mean?
Yeah.
Literally, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like these movies are very important to me because they're just hilarious. Stifler is just a god to me. You know what I mean?
You know,
He grows to
Hold
be
on,
such
hold
an
on.
endearing character.
you
He
do
does.
realize he's kind of like
Yeah,
an
American
asshole.
Wedding,
And they
he's
were
like-
kind of making fun of them. They were trying to
Yeah.
say in that movie. They were trying to say in that movie that what he did wasn't really. No one liked him. Cool.
Yeah, but we
do
learned more.
realize
His
that, don't
character arc. It turned out that he was insecure. He grew into a decent dude. Like it
Oh,
showed.
He was purposely an asshole. He was like a jock. But no, the guy Nova. They were like best friends. It was Jim. I think
Klein.
Jim kind of didn't like him because Stifler made fun of him.
Nobody liked
Right.
him. What are you talking about? They all
Chris
got
Klein did.
along.
Chris Klein. I mean,
I was gonna say Chris Klein and him played lacrosse together. They were the
Yeah.
closest.
Yeah, they were on
They were the
team.
closest. Kevin
Chris
and
Klein would be the
Jim-
type of.
But Chris Klein was
Finch-
still hanging around with those
Finch
other guys.
didn't
Finch hated him. Yeah, Finch hated him.
him.
They loved his
But I'd say
mom.
Kevin and Jim. I think Kevin liked them, but they also used him because he was the party guy, and it was like
Right.
cool to know him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
Because
I
it's like,
know. I understand.
are you going to Stifler's party? Like
Right.
Jim's future wife, they weren't allowed to come to the
Right.
party. And that's
There's a party down there.
That's a great scene.
That
I
house.
wanted to get with Jim.
I think there's a party at that
He's
house.
like, can we go to Stifler's party?
She just used Jim. I was used.
That was a good scene though, because he's like, huh? There's no party here, and some dude walks by, hands him a beer, and he's
Then they slams the door,
Weird.
boom.
So weird.
and he just shuts the door. Yo.
He's like, fucking every time there's like a group of 2 guys, and I forget their names, but Stifler's like, hey, he's like, Keg's in the back and going.
Yeah, I know. I knew guys like that in high school. believe me.
Stifler's mom,
Stifler's mom.
fucking which the
How-
2 guys that create the MILF saying, one of them's fucking Harold from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Yep, John Cho, bro, went
I
on was it Spike Spiegel and the ill-fated Cowboy Bebop's next
I like
series.
the scene where they're talking about the whiskey, and she goes, I like all my things aged 18 years.
Did Stifler's
Right.
mom ever come back after the?
Yes. Oh, yes.
I got some scotch aged 18
They,
years.
they talk about her, but was she in the show? They talk about her a lot. But was Stifler's
In the
mom
spinoffs,
in any of the movies?
like the DVD ones in particular.
No, well, I'm talking about even the sequels. Was she?
No, I think she was in American
American
the
She
third
makes
one.
cameos always because she comes.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
at the end.
she was in the second one.
She picks up Finch at the
Oh,
end of
that's
the
right.
second
Yeah,
one.
yep,
Finch
yep.
is waiting for her like all summer. He's
Yep.
like, I gotta. He's like getting.
He's
ready
been
for
practicing
her.
Kama Sutra and
Doing
shit.
the
Yeah,
Tantra and all
that's
that.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch
I don't
second
know
one
about
tonight too,
The
though.
third one, I think she shows up. She always shows up at the end. She's never in much. It's like a cameo. What was it? There's another fucking thing.
Well, that's why I asked her. She's in movies with
I
Jennifer
don't-
Tilly a lot. So I was wondering. I thought she was related to Jennifer Tilly.
No, but I was thinking about how cool it would have been for Jim's dad and Stifler's mom to interact at one point because they were like
They do.
they were the cool.
I
Oh, they
think
do.
I think they do. Maybe an American reunion or something.
Oh, okay.
There
I'm
is
gonna have to
one. I
watch this.
swear that they definitely.
Sharknado, baby.
Sharknado.
What about when Jim and his dad's conversations? Those are the best too, man.
Yeah,
He's like,
We see her.
yeah.
and Jim's like playing with the rubbers, and he's like got like 20 like opened out on his bed, and then his dad knocks on the door. He's like, hold on, and he's like, come in, and his dad just walks in casually. He's like, oh, you're here, Jim. He's like, I was just walking by, and I just wanted to open up this magazine, open up to the middle.
See what we have here?
Yeah.
Bro,
And then
you know what? Those scenes are so like that. I'm not gonna lie. That to me as a kid resonated because it was like almost an example. I was like, yo, bro. Even as a 12-year-old kid or 11, I was thinking like, whenever I have kids of years from now, I'm like, I'm gonna be cool like that. Like, not overreacting or making stuff a big deal. Like Jim's dad was cool.
Right.
I think we see that as an adult, and we. Yeah,
Right.
exactly,
That's-
exactly.
That's why
Trying
the
to make sure
movies.
my
I think
son
that's
is
why the
protected.
movies were as good as they were and
Yep.
why they lasted because, as
Yeah.
you said, at the core of it was Jim and his dad, and then Stifler. Those two
Yeah.
things, I
Yep.
think, were the movie right there.
Because even then, like, and Jim would always have the real reaction too, where like he would try to be so like calm about it, and then he would just be, okay, Dad, like, come on, come on. And I love too, like when he snapped, because Jim's dad's basically like, he's like, these two magazines, he's like, now Shaved isn't a magazine I'm familiar with, and I'm like, oh, you're familiar with the other one, huh? And then he's like, he snaps, and he's like, Jim's dad is like, oh, I forgot. He's like, oh, I forgot. You've been around the block. You've done it all. And he like kind of like dogs him out a little bit, like, shut up, you fucking virgin. I'm trying to help you. Which I like that though, because it's like he probably knows his son's struggling, and he's like, I'm gonna help him a little bit, so at least he might have saw that video of him going twice. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah,
I think the point is that Jim's dad is just like Jim, and probably was
yeah.
just like him
Straight
when he
up.
grew up.
Straight up.
so he
I mean,
understands
so
like
he knows what's going on.
Your mom, God rest her soul, can still make me squeal like a pig.
yeah.
He's like, I mean that in a good way. And
Yeah.
there's one, what was it? I think it's American Wedding, when Stifler says, he's like, what? He's like, how do you know she's the one? He's like, I just do. She's like, she makes me a better. He's like, no, dumb fuck. He's like, what, did you hook up with one other chick for what? 10 fucking seconds? And he's like, and you passed on Nadia, dumbest fucking mistake you ever could have made. And then Jim goes, or no, he's like, you're like a fucking blind person trying to pick out his fucking favorite yogi. And then he goes and talks to his dad, and he's like, Dad, be honest with me. Would you have passed up sex with Nadia? And he's like, why, did she say something? He's like, no, figuratively speaking. He's like, Jim, I'm a married man. And he's like, if you weren't a married man. He's like, I'm like 60 years old. He's like, if you were in college, he's like, in a heartbeat. Yeah. I just look like,
I don't think they didn't really have naked women in Easy Rider. They were all like no vests on and stuff, like cracked open. But
In the second one, they got more nudity as the
Yeah,
series
in the
went
second
on.
one, because they got those two chicks that
Oh,
are
yeah,
fixing
yeah.
up their house.
Yeah.
The only one who gets naked in this is Nadia, but
Yep.
that's enough. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that was quite the
That's enough.
scene. I remember. Yeah.
Well, there's an interview with her on YouTube where she talks about she wasn't going to come back for any of the sequels because they didn't want to pay her nothing, and she held out,
Really?
and she finally did get the money
Good
she
for
wanted
her.
to come
She
back.
deserved it, man. Honestly, I
It's
love
iconic.
the guys in this, but her scene is what really
Well, yeah, it really
brings
sells
her
the
up a
movie.
level.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what people know. Like, obviously,
American Pie
Stifler,
for
but
it.
Nadia is a big part too. You can't discredit her.
Yeah, that scene where the whole bit, her in Jim's
There's
room
no
and him
nudity.
dancing, that shit is iconic to
Iconic.
yeah.
And there's no nudity without her. And I mean, it's
Right,
like
right,
if you're
right,
gonna
that's
get
true.
if you're gonna get one nudity scene, that's the one. She is.
And they did it well. Like Scarpet was saying, it wasn't crude or over the top. It was very well. It did have some comedic effect, but it was very natural. It wasn't just anything crazy. Like
The comedic is from Jim, though.
right, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And everybody watching him that's just a great scene all around.
Straight up.
I love the end where the very end where Jim's dancing in the room. His dad walks by and his dad slowly walks away and starts.
Yeah, I love
it. He goes, "Hey,
I love
honey,
that ending.
I'm coming for you."
That's why he's a sweetheart. I'm feeling frisky.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love that too because, like you said, Scarphead, he is just like Jim. I could see that being his dad in real life. Honestly,
yeah.
I love Eugene Levy. There was this movie that
such an underrated talent. I looked him up today just to make sure he hadn't passed away because I hadn't heard from him in a minute.
No, he's
still going
in a
strong.
show called Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, the Schitt's Creek. I didn't watch.
Have you seen it?
His son becoming an actor.
Yeah.
There's this movie that was called The Man with Eugene Levy and
Samuel L. Jackson.
And
yes, that's
in American Pie 2, he makes a comment to Nadia on the phone. He's like, he talks about New York. He's like, be careful down there. He's like, for me, it wasn't. And I always thought that was kind of like a snippet to the Man movie, even though I don't know if they came out the same time because it's when
that was
Eugene Levy takes the trip to New York.
But they were around the same time.
Character.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. That'd be a nice little homage because they've done not similar things, but something similar like Michael Keaton's character in Out of Sight, and then in Jackie Brown, like he just had the same name, but they didn't really reference anything he had done in either movie. Yeah, I could see that, because we didn't learn too much about Jim's dad.
All those guys back in the 80s and 70s. I mean, that Eugene Levy, he came from Second City Television, and John Candy was in there with him, and Dave, the guy from the Canadian guys there, Bob and whatever. Remember
what was The Man, like 2005?
What's that? Something like
The Man?
Well, it was earlier than that, I thought.
Maybe like 2003.
He was on the 70s, and they were great in that. So
Eugene Levy would have been a good fit for the 70s show.
Yeah, but that movie, The Man, is good because Eugene Levy is like very
aloof,
spoken, goofy guy, and then Samuel L. Jackson is just like Shaft in that bad motherfucker, like an asshole. It's a fun. I haven't seen that in a while. That's a fun one.
That's a fun one. Yeah.
That's a tough.
Oh, you've seen that? I've never heard anyone actually seen that.
It's a tough one to find now.
I saw that in theaters, bro.
It's
probably 20th century. I guarantee that.
Yeah.
You could probably get it on DVD if that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that ever got a Blu-ray, to be completely honest.
Probably not. I don't. That movie's kind of forgotten about.
Wow, I used to love that just because Eugene Levy. But yeah.
So I guess let's talk like it's
you gotta talk about the pie scene.
Oh yeah, well we gotta
we'll just tell your mother we ate it.
Yeah, we just
they both look over at it, bro.
That motherfucker's just right on warm apple pie. First off, no fucking it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Wait, McDonald's or homemade? McDonald's or store bought? Whatever.
Does McDonald's still even sell apple pies? I remember they used to have those.
Oh yeah, they still have apple pies.
But
it's like
right. You can't find The Man anymore. You could probably buy it on digital.
So I guess let's talk favorite scene in the movie. It's hard to pick one, man. There's just so many good scenes in this movie. And like, who was your favorite character?
Stifler or Eugene Levy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stifler. I would go Stifler all day.
Yeah, it would be close. It would probably be Stifler. Yeah.
I go with Eugene.
But Eugene's almost just as
let's
good.
balance it out.
Those two people make the movie. They really do.
I'll be looking. I'll expect you guys in the no fucking section. Because remember, what is he telling? He's like, dude, it's gonna happen. She's a college chick. He's like, yeah, fucking right. And then, after he gets back, he's like, suck me, beautiful.
You're an asshole, Stifler.
I mean, did Stifler ever get laid? I mean, we saw him dance with a girl at the prom, but that's about the extent of it. Otherwise, he never.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it was implied though that
seems like he's gotten laid before.
Yeah, because that one chick,
the guy that's hit that would bang chicks and just never talk.
That's
to
the
them
Shermanator.
Yeah. No, he made it up. Shermanator made it up. Because that one chick that
would you tell a fucking girl that you wet your pants?
It was just my time, boys. It was
just my time. He's always Shermanator's always like nodding his head like, yeah.
That's something that you remind me of that, Scarpet.
What?
I am a sex robot sent to destroy.
Punani.
I'll be back.
Yeah, just call me Pussy Master.
I think Puppet Master is more.
We just had one of those deep talks that you just feel like you really get to know somebody. Oh, that's what you call it, huh? What else would I call it? And she just calls his ass out in front of everyone. Oh, and he told me that he pisses himself when he gets nervous.
And
it cuts to the shot.
If Sherman gets laid before me, I'm gonna be really pissed.
You didn't quote the whole movie there.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I fucking love that movie, bro. I love all of them, bro. American Reunion is the only one I can't really recite because I went out and bought that day one. But I think I bought it on DVD. And I don't even have it anymore, dude.
Hey,
I gotta get that 4-pack.
Your brother's calling you out, man.
What did he say? When I snuck and saw some of these. He probably snuck and saw my copies.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I could have wrote the fucking script. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I mean, I should make one of these. But yeah, he could have been younger than me because when I would have been older, they'd have been like right for the taking for him to grab out of my fucking bedroom and watch them. He could have watched them on TV, but also at his age, he would have had all that stuff right at his hands. No child lock, so he could have just put it on Netflix. You know what I mean?
This is true. This is true.
I had to like sneak and get my mom to buy him for me or go to somebody's house to see him. So it was.
Well, you know what's interesting?
I didn't have the Netflix streaming.
This is one of those movies I remember quite clear because when this came on, I think it was 2001 or 2. This came on TV.
Yeah, 2000. It was 2000. It was 2000.
It came on TV. Okay. I'm talking about network television. This is This is another one of these movies where they filmed the whole Nadia scene. They filmed another version of it where she's got a brown panties on.
Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, because how do you show that on regular TV at all?
Blurred out. Well, I mean,
not back then they had no blurring. They didn't blur nothing. Now they either they filmed another version of it or they just cut it or they zoomed in maybe. But yeah, no blurring back then. I remember Animal House was another movie they did 2 versions of with John Belushi sneaking up the ladder to see the girl when they're having a pillow fight in the TV version. Yeah. So I mean, they used to film like that TV versions of it. Now they don't do that because now it's all streaming and they just show everything except FX and TNT and
There's
stuff.
not as many of these as I thought. There's the Book of Love, Beta House, Bandcamp, Naked Mile, and then they just had the Girls Rule.
Yeah, there is a DVD out that has a complete collection on it.
Oh, really?
There is, yeah.
If I could just get the 4, I'd be happy. And eventually I'd see. It's crazy, $20 for the Naked Mile on Blu-ray. That's crazy.
They never put those together. They had to recoup their monies.
Right.
I was telling Link the first movie, the budget was $11 million and it made $235 million.
I'm
That's a
telling
hit.
you, bro.
That's like a Marvel movie making $1 billion from like back in
telling
the
you.
Yeah, Marvel
heyday.
movies back in the 90s.
No, I mean like Marvel
Not
has peaked a
anymore.
few years ago. That turnaround or ROI is crazy for a comedy like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we're gonna have a show. I'm doing a special show. You guys are gonna have to watch it. I think it's gonna be tomorrow. It was gonna be today, but I had too much shit on my plate today. I couldn't do it.
it's gonna be called American Pie Scarpath's
No,
Domain.
it's gonna be talking about the failure of movies, and now the apparent failure of the Flash not doing well, and Indiana Jones.
I'm curious to see what the second week does though, because I know people were talking about the. You don't think so?
If you
Like
can't beat the fucking Transformers in your first week, you're done. Anyways,
it did though.
It
did. It was the number one movie of the weekend, but in terms of
no, I
if
think,
this
I think,
even
I
if
think Transformers was.
no, it was this and Elementals, Disney's movie. Transformers was number 3, surprisingly.
We're going to talk about movies, but that's getting off the track. But this movie, let's talk about your favorite scene and I guess your favorite character, and maybe his favorite scene. So let's do this. Favorite
scene
character,
is tough.
favorite character, favorite scene in the movie, favorite character scene. Let's do that. So start off with favorite character.
Well, I'll go with Eugene Levy.
Right,
just a epitome of cool dad, just so understanding, and like Denley said, he understood it was just human nature. But instead of shaming him for something, he was very embracing, which is like you said, you didn't see that too often in the dads who picked it on
and you
TV.
didn't see his mother. You hardly saw it all in these movies.
Yeah, she was like one scene. Didn't she pass away or die in one of the or she passed away? But in one of the later ones,
maybe it's possible.
But favorite scene.
Dude, I think Jim's mom wasn't in it by the third one. She had passed away.
That's what I thought. Okay.
She was in the second one though.
That way they could get
they went to
that way they got Jim's dad
second, and then by the third they just say that she'd passed away.
Yeah. That way Jim's dad don't look like a total ass when he's out there ogling and shit like that. All right, so your favorite is Eugene Levy. What's your favorite Eugene Levy scene in the movie?
Favorite Eugene Levy scene. It might be with the scene Dylan had mentioned earlier, where he brings him the adult magazines, and he's like he's sitting there trying to explain this to his son what this is in such an awkward way, and he's trying to be so cool, but it like Dylan said, it's played it off so well because it's such an awkward scene as it's supposed to be. But at the same time, you get that he's just trying to be the cool dad and like let his son know it, but he just doesn't. They're not so most of subtle ways, but he means well.
An overall scene in the movie.
Overall scene in the movie.
Favorite scene in the movie.
Ooh, it's tough. Give me some time to think about it. I'll come back around.
All right, so Dylan, we're talking. Who's your favorite character in the movie, and who's your favorite character scene, and then what's your favorite overall scene that you like in the movie?
You said favorite character, probably Stifler.
And what's your favorite Stifler scene?
Favorite Stifler scene. Let's see, what would it be? It would probably be. Damn, it's tough, man. The one that just came up to me when he's like, Sherman, what the fuck are you doing here? Sherman would be like, what's up, man? What the fuck are you doing here?
Sherman was like, oh, he knows me.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. When Stifler's laughing at Jim being a loser on the Nadia screen call thing. Or when Stifler fucking gives Finch the laxatives when Finch always has to go home to take a shit.
That's my favorite Finch scene.
Like, Have you seen Finch? He's like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, nothing." But I don't think he's gonna have an issue taking a shit in school anymore.
That's a good scene.
Yeah, and the girl's
He's like, "Oh
bathroom.
no, oh nothing. I'm the one whose ass he kicked." You know? So he's a little evil genius, man.
Yes, yeah. He reminded me of
how about overall scene in the movie for you?
Overall scene in the movie, probably the fucking pie scene. Either the pie scene or the Nadia scene. Those are the two most iconic ones, obviously.
yeah.
And I do like when he drinks that beer, the cum beer, and he's like, "Hey Stifler, how's the pale ale?" Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Stifler is my favorite too, and my favorite Stifler scene is the pale ale scene. I love that scene because the girl was gonna take it, and he's holding up to her lips. He's looking at me.
Oh my!
He just takes it from it and downs it, bro.
But the sad part is how
badass.
But how do you know? How does he know what it was? He recognizes something in the cup.
No, because he takes it and then he looks in it and then he looks back and he's like, "That motherfucker Kevin was in here." And he probably, because of how they since they're like best friends, they might say they hate Stifler, but they just know he's an asshole. They still
right.
Finch is the one that didn't like him.
Yeah.
Because Stifler like literally fucking dogged him every day.
Bullied his ass.
Bones his mom.
Yeah. Obviously the more core group was Kevin, Finch, and then those four were like best friends. But they just thought like after part 2, I feel like once in American Wedding they say they didn't like him as much. It's more because he doesn't grow up. You know what I mean? He kind of just stays the same. But he's like a college football guy. So he's kind of like still living in high school because he's a high school football coach.
Yeah.
But they definitely like, you don't keep somebody like that around if you just hate him. You know what I mean?
Chris Klein his character would seem like the type to be like, he's not that bad, guys. He's an asshole. But, that. So people would see that
all the parties he's got,
right?
Like his Stifler still had chicks, you know what I mean? It is weird though that you don't really ever see him bang anyone. That does always. I think that's a part of it though. They kind of want you to think like, is he pulling them? But he's definitely always.
Well, I knew guys in school that were like that. They were always the life of the party. They were always moving around. They didn't have time to do any of that stuff.
That's true too, and that could be how he was, But every time that he's close, that we almost see him get laid or something, like the first one with the pale ale, or the second one, fucking John Cho pisses on him. Oh, I can taste
it's so warm.
How you get it so warm?
Yeah. That's my favorite scene with John Cho and them so staring at the Stifler's mom's picture. He walks up to her
and then the ladies, that chick comes and starts like kissing him, and she's like drunk as hell, and she's like, "Hi, how you doing?" He's just like pissing while he's doing it. Oh my god, there's some funny ass shit.
And my overall scene would be the Nadia scene. I mean, that whole scene is great. For obvious reasons.
You remember in American Wedding when Stifler thinks he's about to go bang Jim's wife's sister and bangs Jim's grandma?
Oh, yeah.
Focus. And then focus. Jim's dad is like carting her around and she just looks miserable. And then he's like, "Mom, come on. If this is the time to be happy, it's now." And then after Stifler bangs her at the wedding, she's just like glow, like smiling, and like, "Look at my mother. She's just so happy." She's just staring, like beaming at Stifler, like, "Oh my god." There is some hilarious shit about these movies, man.
Yeah,
like, you can't make these anymore. You just can't. Yeah. Like I that's why they had to do a girls one. Like I think that came out like 2 years ago. And
that's
really there is. If you think about when's the last time you saw a sex comedy out? I can't remember any.
I know. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think, man.
It's been since like the late
I
2000s,
I
honestly.
tried to watch the Girls Trip one. I watched like about half. It was okay, but it's
I thought it
definitely
was overrated.
it's all about girls trying to like have sex with guys in a way.
I think this movie's on par with something like this. Like there's something about Mary. I think these two. That also was a movie that came out late. You know,
I
early.
love there's
I was like
something about
97,
Mary.
98.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something about Mary and Never Been
That
Kissed were two
they
of my
don't
favorites as a
know.
kid. You ever see
Drew
that?
Barrymore.
That's a good one with
Yeah. She's a reporter and shit.
Architect
Oh,
or
Never Been Kissed.
Never Been Kissed is a great one.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Waiting was always a good one. Even though
Wait, is a classic.
it's in that vein where it's like those dark comedies and
I like
sexy.
Van Wilder. Van
like
Wilder was kind of
people.
like this.
What was
Van
that?
Wilder.
Oh yeah.
Van Wilder. That's another one that's in that.
That was definitely sex comedy.
They don't make movies like this anymore,
Yeah.
and it's a shame because these are like no-brainer winners for me. They're just like always because they're like you can relate to them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're so relatable, no matter what.
They don't. There's no more sex in movies. You know, nowadays they just pan away, and it's just
Yeah.
there's no more. Especially you can't make fun of somebody in a movie or make fun about something like that, and you just don't see it. But the last one that was out, that remember Netflix tried to do that Wet Hot American Summer, but it was
I heard-
more of a
Yeah,
grim
but that's
comedy.
not it. That's
Have you seen the
not
movie?
even on par because there's no nudity in that.
That's what I mean. But that's how they've kind of gotten. That's what they are.
You mean the show or the original movie?
Because yeah, the original came out like 2000, 2001, and
I
then it
thought
came
that
out with
was
the
even
show.
older. I thought the
Yeah.
original was even older.
I think it was it was 90s.
I thought I was gonna say 90s.
No, I'm pretty. Let me look it up.
The show was I like. Oh no, you're right. 2001.
Because I remember seeing this show, and it was like, I was like,
The
damn,
show
like 20
was
years later.
2015, first day of camp, and then 2017, 10 years later.
Yeah.
Those aren't bad. The show wasn't bad. I can't remember as
So I'm
much.
just
Like,
saying
it
they
got
don't
like most of
really-
the cast back.
The movie
most-
was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall probably like horror. I think came back, but comedy I don't think ever really fully came back. At least
No,
not in the
only
movies.
the fucking rom-coms, man. I'm trying to think of like I don't. That's the thing, man. I used to love comedies, man, and it's like I just feel like I don't.
Raunchy comedy, so is that what they would classify?
Well, there hasn't really even been that good of a. What's the last comedy you can think of? Like
That's
came out
what I'm
recently
saying.
that is really funny. I think Tropic Thunder, maybe.
Tropic Thunder.
I mean, there was some in like it wasn't too crazy, but in like the Millers or Meet the Millers, that was like
We're
early
the Millers.
2010s. Where the Millers
Yeah.
or Family Vacation with Ed Helms and Chris Hemsworth.
Even that
it
was,
was
a
in
long
it.
time ago.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Was like that.
It wasn't no
It was
raunchy,
okay,
but
though.
yeah,
But Chris Hemsworth made that. Anything
Yeah, he did.
Chris those were the only funny scenes to me were in
Yeah.
Vacation, were the Chris Hemsworth. Like he had that big ass bed and he's just like walking around naked.
always stretching out and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, there hasn't been that many great. War of the Millers is good, but that's not one like I can just like always
Remember
throw out.
do you guys remember the nerd movies, like Revenge of the Nerds and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
I never really got into those.
Those were
I've
kind
seen
of
like the first
I
two.
never really watched them.
No, that was probably the first one was the best one, but that was another one of
Yeah.
those like they had.
Are
like
they
3 or
worth
4 of them.
watching?
I would
Yes.
say the first one definitely is.
First one.
Yeah.
Second one's not too bad, but the first one is iconic, like borderline iconic. You know.
Not how both.
Do y'all
both-
remember those Dane Cook movies? There was like 2 of them that were really good. Do you guys remember Dane Cook? The comedian?
Yeah, Dan Cook was in Waiting. He didn't have a big role in Waiting, but I
Yeah,
remember it was
yeah. What was it?
what was the one
Good
Employee of the
Luck
Month?
Chuck. There was Good Luck Chuck, where he was every chick that he banged,
Jessica
ended up
Alba.
getting married right after him. And then there's
Employee of the Month. Yeah,
but maybe it was just Good Luck Chuck that I really liked. That was
yeah. Employee of the Month was.
Because he's banging a lot of
yeah.
chicks and shit. I think that was the main one. Employee of the Month was good though too.
Yeah, it was
Bobby.
solid.
That was
It
good,
was,
Bobby.
it was alright.
Yeah, but it definitely that's the one I mean. Good Luck Chuck. It looks like he was in Stuck on You too, which that was funny.
Hold on, Stuck on You. You talking about the one with Matt Damon and fucking Greg Kinnear? No way.
And
You know, Dan Cook was in Mystery Men.
Fire in here.
Yep, I was just gonna say that too.
He was
That
the
was
not the waffle dude. Was he the waffle man?
He
Yeah,
was Waffler.
yeah, the waffler. I will fry.
Two Gun Pedro says Dylan can recite American Pie like he wrote the script. Word.
We all have movies like that, dog. Like that's
Maybe
yeah,
I
like
did.
Scarphead said he did write the
And they fucking stole it from me.
real shit.
I knew
Real shit.
a dude that fucked the pie.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story.
He was stoned when he watched it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, man. I literally, dude, we have to do the other ones. We have to do American Pie 2 and 3 and Reunion. We have to because they're just gonna be such.
It's a solid trilogy.
It is.
Even a quartet, but the
It's
first, the
a
other,
solid trilogy.
yeah. But we definitely got to cover 2 and 3 because 3 would be a good ass time. That'd be a fun
yeah.
one,
Well,
bro.
what I think we do,
I love that,
I think
dude. I love
if we do it, we're gonna do we'll do 2, 3, and 4 together. And we'll just
When
do
he
that.
goes to that gay bar and he's like, "Wow," he's like, "You're big." He's like, "I could use somebody like you on my team." You mean our team or an actual team? What team? What's our team? What the fuck is going on here? And he's like, because that girl's supposed to be introducing him to a girl he thinks. He's like, "Where's the fucking girl?" Like,
Another one. Damn, that's 20 years old this year,
around.
bro.
Around sees everybody making all the guys making out. He's like,
The camera's flashing around.
All right,
and
so
he's
let's.
like,
All right, so
what the fuck is going on?
all right, so we have one more of these. We'll ask you guys this question here. Let's see if I can do it. Maybe I can do it. Can I do it? No, it's not big. That's too big. Not big enough. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Hold on. That's Link. How you doing, Link? No, I'm trying to make the background big because I'm gonna say, who is your favorite girl?
Nadia.
Nadia for you?
Hmm.
Nadia or Chris, Nova's girl, Chris's girl, Chris Klein.
Was that Mina Savari?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Mina Savari.
she's hot. She's in this movie that Stuart Gordon did, and she has a nice ass body, and she like has a sex scene in it.
Yeah, she's an American Beauty
It's
too.
called
She was-
Stuck. It's a really fucking good Stuart Gordon movie. I think it's Stuart
Stuck.
Gordon's last film. It's called Stuck. It's on Tubi. You guys should watch that. It's called Stuck. Here, where is it? Mina Savari's in it, and so this is the only way. And Russell Hornsby in it. I think this is Stuart Gordon's last film he ever directed. A young woman commits a hit and run, then finds her fate tied to her victim.
Is he stuck in her windshield?
Basically hits.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I've
hits
heard about
hit and
that.
run, and the guy gets stuck
Yeah.
in her
The
windshield.
whole movie's
But he
like
doesn't
that.
die. Yeah.
Not till he
Okay,
He
I
has
dies.
think
to
I might have
figure out
seen
what
that.
to kind of do.
She brings
It's such a
him
good
home, puts him in the
movie.
garage. I remember I
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah.
That's worth watching.
All right. Well, I'm
Mina
gonna
Savari
say,
gets naked.
I'm gonna
in
say
that shit. I
Link.
couldn't believe it. Should have got naked for
who's
American
your
Pie.
favorite hottie?
Nadia.
You know what? I physically, yeah, of course, you just say Nadia, but based on just kink factor, I'm gonna go with the band.
Poor Bill.
Based on kink factor, I'm gonna go with Michelle the Band Geek.
Oh wow, Allison. Yeah, she's cute. I know. I do like her. I do
She's
like her.
quirky.
Which
She's
one?
got a freak
Bandcamp?
side to her. Yeah.
The one that used Jim. I was used.
Yeah, I was used.
I was used.
Yeah,
I like it.
I got 2 rubbers so you can desensitize. I don't want it coming so quick.
yo.
Play this out. I only did this because I knew you. were
Wait, she's like,
easy
of course I
leg.
saw the video. That's how I knew you were a sure thing.
Yeah. Just her deliverance of how quirky she is
Oh
through the
my
whole
god,
thing.
she
Like,
keeps saying those Bandcamp stories. But and then she goes, one time
one time,
I stuck a flute in my and I'm like,
he almost he it took him a while to catch on because
Yeah.
he's like, what the? Yeah.
Are we gonna bang? Because I'm getting a little antsy. And he's like, I didn't think we were gonna bang, Bandcamp girl.
Yeah, I gotta go with her. I like
You
that.
know
Yeah.
All right.
And she's like, she's breaking everything, like smashing the fucking lamp.
I gotta give it to my girl. I gotta give it to Natasha Lyonne. I mean, she scares me. I think she could beat the living shit out of all of us. And she's got that
She's got an edge to her.
cigarette voice.
Yeah, she's
And
born with it.
so that's not gonna happen. But anyways, I've always liked her hair. She's gorgeous.
Yeah,
And
she's aged
funny.
well too. Because I thought Juliette Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's going to be Latasha. So you're going to say Bandcamp, Allison Hannigan, and Dylan said, who do you like, Dylan? Oh, Nina Savari.
I told you.
No one
Nina
picked
Savari,
Tara Reid. No one picked
It's
Tara Reid.
Nadia, but
Tara Reid, she's attractive enough, but
Nadia's first. Heather's the runner-up.
Yeah.
and I like it. I do like how petite Nina Savari is. You know.
I see.
Yeah, once I would have normally always just said Nadia without a doubt, and then once I saw Stuck and saw Mina naked, I was like, oh shit.
I was just going to say something, and thank God I didn't say
I could see it on your face, Scarpad. I could see it on your face.
You gotta tell me backstage. I gotta hear whatever you were gonna say.
It was something I said, wasn't it?
I want to say it so bad. Anyways,
damn, you gotta tell me backstage.
So let's
you
go
didn't
ahead.
say it. It must be hilarious.
I saw the twinkle in his eye, dog. He kind of chuckled to himself. That's how he was thinking some shit.
all right, so let's go ahead and rate this bad boy.
Yeah, Nadia's in fucking Scary Movie too. Scary
she's in a lot
Movie
of
as well.
movies.
Oh, yeah.
Breaks their leg.
13 Ghosts. That's such a underrated movie, guys. It's not the best, but it's
She actually had
underrated.
a few lines in some of the
I love
movies.
13 Ghosts and Ghost Ship. Both of those are done
Ghost
by
Yeah.
production
Ghost-
companies.
Well, Ghost Ship was that fucking beginning scene. Once you never forget it.
Yeah, I
how
like
everyone
Ghost Ship
dies.
better than 13 Ghosts.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. They're definitely more of a horror. They were trying to be too. It's 13 Ghosts is cool, but it's a safe movie, you know.
Isn't the
Because
guy from Miller's Crossing in that?
Matt Lillard is the best part of 13.
Monk.
Oh, okay.
It's with Tony
Oh,
Shalhoub.
it's Tony Shalhoub. Okay, that's it.
Shalhoub,
That's what I think of. Yeah, okay. Monk. All right, so let's rate it. What are you giving it? Go ahead, Link.
It might be a little biasness
oh,
into
oh,
nostalgia.
and
An A or an a B. I create.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's the other show. We're going on what's phases? What are we gonna do now? Because it's technically not a sci-fi show anymore. Because we're doing comedy. So let's say
It can still be phases.
That's
let's say five.
You're a
months.
Star Trek guy, bro. So
Let's do 5.
Yeah.
phasers,
I say roaches. Let's do
5 slices of pie.
Roaches. Pie.
5 apple pies,
There you
motherfucker.
go. Five
I give it
apple pie.
a 5. Like I said, it could be
I should
biased. And
stream this one to my channel since I love it so fucking much.
that would have been
I
good.
thought it was set there, but
No, you should stream it on Facebook.
Hit it before it goes live.
Oh, okay.
And I was on the phone with the Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah. All right, so
Yeah,
you're gonna give it a 5 all day?
I'm giving it a 5.
Well, it's nostalgia and biasness play into it, but I was very curious to see how this movie will hold up, and it held up pretty well. Like, it's a solid comedy. Like, I think a lot of the people might look back on it and be like, oh, it's just a sex comedy, but there's some heart to this movie. You know, there's a heart to all the movies, and yeah, 5 pies.
Kids trying to, because also too, they're like scared that they're gonna go to college
Right.
and like get like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna be.
You don't want to be inexperienced in college, bro.
Because they're not the cool. Besides, Stifler and Chris might be, but they're lacrosse players, man.
They're bound to get some ass.
I know
Don't
people
get the
say
show
that
in
he
that
plays
lane.
football too, but it's like that's not like, you know what I mean? They still, all kids have, high schoolers have, you know what I mean? They're what they're scared of,
No, I was telling Scarpet when you were dealing with the Wi-Fi stuff that I was like, this is like, it felt like some stuff that I would talk about with my friends back in high school. Like, when you were getting laid back then, that was a big deal, bro. Like that, it was like, oh my guys, I think this is the weekend. I've been talking to
Just my
oh
time.
girl.
It was
Yes.
How the fuck did you pull it off?
Yeah, that's one of the best scenes too, bro. That is,
Even if it's a little over the top, overboard, it's so relatable. Like 70%
so much heart.
of it is relatable.
Real
and
stuff.
got major heart to it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially this first one, especially.
What else are you thinking of now,
The
Scarpetta?
second one, they get a little more ridiculous with
damn.
it, but I love it, man.
Scarpad's got another joke to tell us
I can't
backstage.
do it. All right, so I'm going to give it a 5. Absolutely a 5. It'd be interesting to see when we do the other ones what we think of the other sequels, but this one's a 5. There's no way to break it down. This is a top shelf sex comedy of the 90s.
Guaranteed to get some good laughs, bro. Guaranteed.
And it has held up, and the soundtrack is still kicking. I still love the music in this movie, 90s stuff, and it's just great. Every character's good, every actor's good. And there's so many. You can just tell by Dylan. There's so many lines in the movie that you remember, and there's so many scenes that you remember in the movie. This is 5.
Yeah. Super iconic.
And then you got Nadia, so.
Also iconic.
And thank God for DVDs that cleared up. A nice DVD, you got a nice polish screen, not like you did on VHS where it teared, and you had to get the tracking, adjust the tracking control so you could see what's behind the tear when you pause the tape. DVDs, man, Blu-rays, thank God. 4Ks now. If you're a 4K kid watching Apple Pie and you get the remote.
Oh, they're going to smell the pie.
You can smell that pie on 4K.
Fresh out the oven.
All right, so thanks everybody. We had a good chat. They really got into it in the chat. They're talking about that. We're Evans giving it a 4.069, of course. Two Guns still wants to use the phasers. 5 plus double A's.
He's giving it some letter grades. He gave it all just to cover his bases.
4.5. Two Guns says also A plus.
Yeah.
So, and the movie is so quotable. Absolutely, it is very quotable. So.
Did springboard a lot of careers.
Well, one thing everybody's dropping by, my first show back in 2 weeks. Dylan, go back and watch the half you missed. It's really good. We had such good stuff. And then we just repeated it again when you came on. So, it was good. It was good. We enjoyed it. Any last words, gentlemen? So to speak. Dylan, what you got coming up next week?
Review out that we did for Fable's birthday, Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Go watch motherfucking American Pie 2 and American Wedding.
Get prepped for our next coverage on this.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's next week?
I have no idea. I didn't think that far ahead.
Winging it.
But
we had a few weeks off and didn't plan it out.
Next week we will do something.
Might as well do American Pie 2 next
iconic.
week.
We'll get
do American Pie.
We'll get
do American Pie.
We'll blow them out.
For the summer.
Dude, you can't blow them out.
I think we might. We're gonna have to go back and we're gonna have to remember.
Isle of Dogs, motherfucker.
I never did. Isle of Dogs never
or
did
Annihilation.
Austin Powers, so we gotta go back.
Or that.
Yeah, that's true.
So off track.
You sent that to me and stuff.
I know.
Well, me and Steph own it now, so we can watch it.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Watch it anytime.
Yeah, I fucking love those movies.
All right, so later on the week, coming up on Thursday or Friday, whenever we get to it, we'll be reviewing. What are we reviewing? Black Science.
Black Science, Volume 2 by Rick Remender, Matteo Scalar. And Thursday, I'll be on Verno's A Quiet Place review with him and Comic Culture.
Just number 1?
Yeah, just one. Well, 2 would be a curious one to cover because I liked it. I didn't see too many people talk about. First one's definitely better, but 2 is a solid sequel. When's the third one come out? That's like a prequel, isn't it?
So, yeah.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, he's back in it, John. I think Krasinski's back in it with her. The prequel. I think.
I always wanted to see a 28 Days Later movie like that showed the immediate outbreak type shit and all the chaos that. Like a prequel, 28 seconds later.
That's too expensive to film.
28 minutes later.
And Dylan, what do you have on coming up on the horse show next week?
George Romero's Martin.
Oh, Martin, that's right. Yeah, I got to
I
rewatch that.
believe Two Gun said that it's on Tubi if you want to watch.
Oh, nice.
Euro Trip, that's another one, and Road Trip.
Yep.
Those are two really good ones. I love
Scotty doesn't know.
Oh, Martin's on Tubi now? Wow.
that Fiona and me do it on her bed because she's at church, but she's on her knees.
All right, well,
Doug, that was my shit.
Matt fucking Damon, baby.
One of his best
I love
cameos,
Road
bro.
Trip too.
Road Trip.
So good.
You said use 2 fingers? Did I say 2? Make it 3.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll catch you in a week. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for coming in here. I really have no opening. I have no beginning, no ending. I'm really slacking here, so we'll just give you the thing again. So
Let's all go to the moon.
well, no, not that one again, because otherwise I'd get hungry. Well, I don't know if I can get hungry.
That one's a classic.
Yeah.
We'll give them that one then.
Peace out,
Peace
y'all.
out, man. Go get some pie, motherfuckers!